Automated cockpits have serious disadvantages, which are of concern to aviation authorities. The Federal Aviation Authority in America has published a document entitled Human Factors Design Guidelines for Multifunction Displays, which details its concerns about automated cockpits. For similar reasons, the Civil Aviation Authority in the United Kingdom has published Paper 10 of 2004, entitled Flight Crew Reliance on Automation. The main cause of concern is boredom caused by an insufficient workload. This in itself may not be a problem, but it leads to hypovigilance, which is a lack of alertness and a loss of situational awareness. Consequently, when a problem occurs, a pilot may not have paid attention to the background to, or the cause of, the problem, such as an overheating engine. He may only become aware of the problem when the fire warning goes off. It is therefore difficult for a pilot to predict and preempt a problem when he relies on computer warnings, rather than carrying out a proper instrument scan. To alleviate this boredom, especially on long flights, artificial workloads are created. The flight crew may practice emergency drills, or they may discuss what-if scenarios. Periodic position reporting, such as on transatlantic flights, provides an opportunity for communication with air traffic control. But even this procedure is frequently automated. Boredom is a real danger and can deteriorate not only into hypervigilance but into sleep. There are now several recorded incidents of air traffic control failing to make contact with an aircraft because the pilots were both asleep, such as the crew of an Airbus over Denver in 2004. Some aircraft require active pilot responses within a certain time. Otherwise, an alarm will sound to raise the pilot from his slumbers. Another disadvantage of the automated cockpit is automation complacency. Because automated systems are so reliable, pilots may become over-dependent upon them and complacent, the classic symptom of which is passive monitoring. This is the tendency of aircrew to leave it to the computer to sort out, and to accept in blind belief the fact that the computer is better able to solve a problem than they are. This follows a pattern of behaviour that we look at in the lesson on human error and behaviour, namely that when solving problems, individuals will choose rule-based behaviour. That is, they will follow defined procedures rather than choose knowledge-based behaviour, which requires original thinking. This pattern of behaviour was noted by the UK Civil Aviation Authority in their research for Paper 10 of 2004. They found that pilots could cope with emergencies very well by following checklists. However, they were much poorer at dealing with abnormal situations. Automation complacency is to some degree a result of inadequate training. Pilots are taught that the automation works in a particular way, declarative knowledge, but their ability to use it is not checked to anywhere near the extent of checks for manual flying skills, procedural knowledge. There have been several accidents which could have been avoided had the pilot intervened manually to change direction, rather than waste time by trying to reprogram the computer. We behave similarly in everyday life. We would probably spend several minutes looking for the television remote control in order to change channels, rather than go directly to the television and do it manually. The loss of flying skills is frequently bemoaned by commercial pilots. After taking off and reaching 300 feet, pilots may engage the autopilot and leave the computers to fly the aircraft until they land, perhaps 12 hours later. Consequently, pilots will seldom have recent experience of flying manually in demanding conditions, such as steep turns, crosswinds or turbulence. Indeed, it is estimated that commercial pilots actively fly for as little as 5% of the time. The skill of flying by traditional instruments is also lost because the glass cockpit is so reliable. However, electronic equipment can fail, and pilots should try to retain traditional flying skills, such as practicing forced landings. Blinkered concentration can be a problem with automated as well as traditional cockpits. Focusing on one information source, such as why the flaps will not go down on the left wing, to the exclusion of all other sources, such as fuel levels, has in the past led to an aircraft running out of fuel. Conversely, being presented with too much information can cause confusion. For example, a terrain map may show air traffic zones, airways, beacons, towns, rivers, roads, and many other things. Fortunately, most equipment has a declutter function for the removal of layers of information. Click on the Declutter button to see how this works. A computer will only do what it is programmed to do. In order to fly from London to Dubai, the correct coordinates for all the waypoints and the destination need to be put into the computer. It may only be when you touch down on a sand dune near Dubai that you wish that you had checked the coordinates put in by the ground staff. The pilot himself may also be guilty of inputting incorrect data into the flight management unit. For example, he may select an incorrect altitude, which will result in a level bust and a severe telling off from the local aviation authority. He may also select the incorrect mode, that is, the wrong page on the computer. It can take up to a minute or two to enter data to program a computer. For example, air traffic control may require a sudden change of runway, perhaps because of an incident on the runway. This will require finding the right page of the Flight Management Unit, FMU, finding the correct approach plate in the index, and executing the change. During this time, the pilot may lose his situational awareness, and perhaps manual override on the flight path would have been the best way to ensure flight safety. The last of the disadvantages of automation for us to look at is the deterioration in coordination and communication. Because the two pilots have independent computers, they may not inform each other of everything that they are doing. There are many acronyms in aviation, and confusion is easy, especially if a term is unfamiliar or there is a high workload. Do you know what this sentence means? Click on the screen to reveal the full version of the acronyms. Even the display of complicated approach charts on the multifunction display may be a mixed blessing. It is convenient to display the arrival plate, select a route, and leave the flying to the autopilot. However, the selection of the incorrect arrival route may not be revealed until air traffic control asks you what you are doing. Whereas if the co-pilot had told the pilot to fly begin 2C arrival procedure on heading 306 degrees, the pilot will be checking his course all the time. How can the disadvantages of the automated cockpit be overcome? The aviation authorities constantly review the effects of new equipment on flight safety and make recommendations, as we can see here in an extract from Paper 10 of 2004. The best advice is the old advice. Aviate, that is, control the aircraft. Navigate, that is, get on track. And lastly, communicate with air traffic control and your passengers. The primary task is to fly the aircraft. Once this is established, attention can be given to other things. Here are some other basic principles for adaptation to automation. Be familiar with the equipment. Train regularly. Maintain situational awareness. Input data when you have time and take your time. Confirm the accuracy of data to be input. Confirm that the data has been input correctly. Tell the other crew members what you have done. And do not become complacent. Computers are very reliable. They contribute hugely to flight safety. But they are not infallible, and they have been the cause of accidents. An Airbus at an airshow was performing a low flypast with undercarriage down. When the pilot wanted to increase power to climb, the computer would not let him, as it thought that the aircraft was configured to land, which it did, but in the trees at the end of the runway. This crash illustrates what was called by Lisanne Bainbridge in 1983 the irony of automation. In short, computers do those things that pilots already know how to do well, much better than pilots. But computers do not know how to do those things that a pilot would like to do well, those things such as when to abort a takeoff, which require original thought. That is, knowledge-based behaviour. In essence, the irony is that pilots are to oversee an automated system, which they do poorly, and take over when there are abnormal conditions, which they may not be very good at either. This ends our consideration of cockpit design and automation.